Hello and welcome to the official preview of the Mystery Challenge 2022 edition, presented by Six Sided Discs. This is an unsanctioned one-round, 3-disc challenge where competitors receive a mystery driver, mid-range, and putter to complete their round. Players can trade discs prior to the round starting and can expect to receive both overstable and understable discs in the player pack. This year we have custom stamps from Discraft, at least one in every player pack. Watch until the end to catch a preview of what those look like. As of right now, there are still spots available, so sign up at the link in the description. This year's event is at Valley Trails Disc Golf Course at Licking Valley Church of Christ in Newark, Ohio on Dayton Road, and we're excited to bring some attention and improvements to this local course. Hole 1 is a par 3, 334 feet. Your only out of bounds will be a garden at the top of the hill on the left. The rough is pretty thick on the right hand side, so beware and keep your play well off to the left. Hole 1 does play slightly uphill, so 334 feet plays a little bit longer. It's going to take about all the distance you have to get close to this pin and hopefully avoid rolling back down into the woods on your putt. Hole 2 is also a par 3, 250 feet uphill. We have a narrow grassy fairway, which shouldn't really be your target. You're looking to get up over the long grass on the right or left to come into this big circular area that they've mowed nice and short. We do have OB garden left right off the tee and an OB road, which is about 100 feet past the basket, so shouldn't come into play. Hole 3 is a par 3, 248 feet. No out of bounds here. A short shot, slightly obscured by the hill, which makes coming in with the right speed a little bit tricky. And we do have a very sloped green, but this should be a nice ace run towards the start of your round and hopefully an easy birdie. Here we have hole 4, the signature hole at Valley Trails. This is a par 3, 482 feet, which sounds like a lot, but it is downhill. Your only major concern is going to be the pond to the left for shots that fade out way early, or the tall grass on the left. There are some trees and bushes that kind of jut out along the left-hand side that tends to collect a lot of discs, so play your shot way off to the right and give it a chance to fade back in towards the basket. And here's an example from our Instagram of what a pretty good shot would look like on hole 4. Keeping that well wide to the right, and that was still about 40 feet short of the basket. Moving on to hole 5, another par 3, 243 feet. There is a small creek that cuts through the course here, and this is the first of 4 or 5 places where we'll be crossing that creek. If you do land in the water surrounded by water, you're out of bounds. Otherwise, you're looking to play a shot to get across that valley, and anywhere up in here would be ideal just to have a look at this very well protected basket. Hole 6 is a short par 3, 192 feet, no out of bounds. You're playing a shot through this narrow gap between these two trees. An overstable right-handed forehand or left-handed backhand or a very understable right-hand backhand could curl right down towards this basket. At one of the shortest holes on the course, you're going to be looking to pick up a birdie on hole 6. Hole number 7 at Valley Trails is our first par 4, 440 feet. It's pretty open for the first 100 to 200 feet, and then you're going to need a shot that just gets to the right through this gap. The most common landing zone, if you're able to get through clean, is going to be coming up right about here. And then a lot of shots that get through here often tend to fade off to the left over by the fallen logs there. The basket will be tucked up here to the right with some thick brush right behind. Playing this one for par is not a bad idea. Hole 8 is a par 3, and this is an island hole, 218 feet. Through the tight gap, OB throws will proceed to the drop zone, and the drop zone will be located right about here where the drone pauses. OB throws from the drop zone will need to re-throw from the drop zone until they're inbounds. So this is a really important hole to get inbounds. Over the first 7 holes, whichever of those mystery discs you've come to know really well should be the one that you're throwing on hole 8. Hole 9 is a tricky par 3, 426 feet. The creek runs along the right side of the hole down the hill. Only bad kicks are going to be contesting the out of bounds water. Most players should probably play hole 9 for par, playing a safe shot to approach right about here. And we have an elevated basket, so running a putt on this is going to be pretty dangerous with a big drop off behind. Back by the parking lot, we have hole 10, a par 3, 260 feet. While it is not a mandatory for our tournament, we do have the most clear and obvious gap, which will be this V tree here. Hopefully trimming off a couple of those twigs. You can cross the water back where you came across at hole 9 if you're not comfortable with the logs there. And this hole is going to shoot drastically uphill right towards the end to this very well protected basket. Hole 11 is a tight 242-foot downhill par 3. An overstable backhand anhyzer probably makes the fairway the biggest it's going to be, pushing slightly right and then slightly left, or a slight flip-up shot maybe can get down by the basket. In terms of scoreability, this one is one of the best. Moving on now to hole 12, a very tight par 3. You're going to want to try and shoot this gap that the drone is flying with something very overstable and then get to the right as much as possible. You'll then have to contest the mozzarella sticks as these trees have become and work your way to the basket. Hole 12 is going to play close to par, very few birdies, and probably a few bogeys. Hole 13 is the horseshoe hole. This is a par 3, 268 feet, and we are effectively doing a slow U-turn. You're teeing off through this tight gap, and the most important thing for you is to hit this gap and then get as far left as possible. The geese are going to show us what direction to go. You want to get out and curl to the left because the basket is tucked back down, way down here through the grass and right on the edge of the creek, bringing in the out of bounds water. One of the course improvements we're looking to bring to this course is a river crossing right behind this basket to provide better access to hole 14. Hole 14 is a short par 3, 150 feet. no out of bounds, 100% ace run. Hole 15 is another short ace run par 3, 128 feet. This is a tricky one though. You've got thick brush on all sides, narrow gap, and we're going slightly downhill. So if you're too aggressive on this basket, you can easily go 60, 70, 80 feet past it and have a difficult comeback putt for par. Hole 16 is the other signature hole on the course. This is a par 4, 516 feet. Your first shot ideally will land somewhere in the middle of this grassy corridor you see ahead of you, opening up a shot out into the open field. And once you're out here in the open, it's just about getting the distance dialed in correctly. You're playing slightly uphill, and there's a slight ditch ahead of the basket. No out of bounds, but this one's going to play close to par, if not over par for many players, as that first fairway is really hard to hit. Hole 17 is a par 3, 179 feet. Another nice ace run back at the road, but don't get too aggressive because we've got out of bounds road and beyond just behind the basket. And finally, the third signature hole, hole 18, is a par 4, 509 feet. This one is a fun one. Throw it as hard as you can. You're going downhill. You're going to struggle to get all the way to the wood line, which is a good thing because you're going to need to find the perfect spot to approach this very well protected and frankly quite difficult to see basket. When you're up on the fairway, you almost can't see this basket down here below. Out of bounds water lurks behind, so be careful on your approach. And that is our official course preview of the 2022 Mystery Challenge presented by Six Sided Discs. We look forward to hosting this tournament at Valley Trails Disc Golf Course at Licking Valley Church of Christ. A huge thank you to Peter from the church who's been helping to prepare the course and show us around. We look forward to seeing you there. Remember, you can sign up for the tournament at the link in the description. As of the time of posting, there are over 20 spots available, and we can't wait to see you there.